Don't miss SportsCenter Live from the NBA Finals at 6 Eastern.
Back with you on Get Up, and time now for a game called Better, Worse, or the Same. And since we're talking quarterbacks, let's go to Dan Orlovsky. Dan, which of these quarterbacks will be better, worse, or the same as last season, beginning with Big Ben?
I think Big Ben Roethlisberger is going to be better. Listen, the last 2 years that this guy has started, minus 18 because of his health, he's thrown for 9,000 yards, 77 touchdowns, and 31 interceptions. Big Ben can still play. Now Juju's back. That's huge. Second year with Chase Claypool. Obviously the addition of Najee Harris and then Pat Freiermuth. I think Big Ben is going to play better football than he did last year.
Okay, Lamar Jackson, better, worse, or the same?
Better, because the offensive line is going to be much better. The addition of Kevin Zeitler, Villanueva, Ronnie Stanley staying healthy at left tackle. But this is about those receivers. You know, the addition of a Sammy Watkins gives him another big body threat. The obviously drafting of Rashad Bateman is going to be huge. The lack of passing has nothing to do with Lamar Jackson. He will have a monster season in Baltimore.
Baker Mayfield, better, worse, or the same?
Come on, Rye. Pay attention, bub. Baker's going to be better. Baker Mayfield's going to throw for over 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and less than 10 interceptions. They kept Rashad Higgins. I know that's not a household name. That's enormous. If OBJ can just fit in and be a piece, that is huge. Second year in an offense. First time he's ever had the same coaching staff from the previous season. I think of the second year Aaron Rodgers had under Matt LaFleur and how much better he got. I think of the second year that Ryan Tannehill had under this type of scheme, the second year that he got. I think of the second year that Jimmy Garoppolo had under Kyle Shanahan, this same scheme, and how much better he got. Baker Mayfield's going to have a better season than last year.
An optimistic Dan Orlovsky, especially when it comes to these quarterbacks this morning. I like it. So, Jeremy, I'll turn to you. What's the latest between the Browns and Baker Mayfield looming with that looming contract extension?
Well, Ryan, I just checked in with a source involved. I was told status quo, that there are no substantial talks going on right now. The Browns and a lot of the league are on vacation. It's a slow time in the league, but both sides remain open to discussing the possibility of a deal and seeing where it goes. Now, the Browns want to keep their core intact. They have a lot of good players that they've drafted and developed. They want to pay them. You got cornerback Denzel Ward, guard Wyatt Teller, running back Nick Chubb. It's uncertain if they can lock up all of those players, but last year when they gave Myles Garrett a mega deal, the thought was, hey, we like what we have on our roster. Let's try to keep it intact.
Yeah, try to run it back. I mean, this was a team that did very well last year. So, Mike Tannenbaum, what would you do if you're the Browns and you're working with Baker Mayfield on an extension? Here we go. Go ahead, Mike.
I would not sign him to an extension. I would wait several years, and here's why. You are binding yourself to mediocrity. There's a lot of ways to evaluate the AFC quarterbacks, but at best, he's the sixth, maybe seventh best quarterback in the AFC. We could talk about Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Ryan Tannehill, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. In my evaluations, he's the third best quarterback in his own division. And I like Baker Mayfield. I worked him out before the 2018 draft. I was really surprised by how good his intangibles are. But we made the very same decision, Ryan, when we were at the New York Jets, which was we had a good quarterback in Chad Pennington. We chased a great quarterback in Brett Favre because we wanted to win a championship. If you're the Cleveland Browns, because of Baker Mayfield's physical limitations of him being short and slow, you can't win a championship, especially when you have the seventh or best quarterback in the AFC.
Look at Dan getting ready. Can we just watch Dan for a second get ready in his seat? Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so we can't use where you rank in the AFC and or the division as a barometer whether you choose to pay a player or not, okay? If we're going to say that Baker Mayfield is the sixth best quarterback in the AFC, well, the NFC, so you're looking at a top 10 or top 12 player at the position. Okay, so if you choose to not pay a top 10 or top 12 player at the position, that's on you. Second of all, don't talk about Baker Mayfield's physical limitations and not talk about Baker Mayfield's physical strengths. And that has been something that I have harped on Baker or about Baker since he has got elite ball placement. He has got an absolute nuclear arm. Okay, so and we can't talk about a mediocre player when his name is attached to history books in the NFL. I mean, before Justin Herbert, he broke the rookie touchdown passing record from Russell Wilson and Peyton Manning. That is not mediocrity. He's one of 2 quarterbacks that in their first 3 seasons to throw for over 75 touchdowns and 11 interceptions and have a passer rating of 90. That's Dan Marino. Like, that's not mediocrity. I'm not sitting here saying that we're paying him Dak Prescott money. I'm not saying here we're paying him Patrick Mahomes money. But we can't put his name attached to mediocrity. If you're going to choose to, I'd ask you this, Mike T. Do you think he's going to play worse this year? With the top 5 offensive line, the best running back duo in the game, and a top 5 skill roster, do you think he's going to play worse this year?
Dan, I think he's going to play better, but if you and I were running an NFL franchise, we would be chasing championships. And I don't think for the next 5 years, you and I want to get up every day and say, hey, we have the 12th best quarterback. Let's go win a championship. It's about chasing greatness. So if you want to pay Baker Mayfield as a B, I'm okay with it. But when you look at the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks going back to 2016, and we're talking about Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, Nick Foles, they are bigger guys. It's not a coincidence. Bigger quarterbacks win more consistently. I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield can't win one like Breeze or Wilson, but over the next 10 years, Cleveland is putting themselves at a disadvantage by having Baker Mayfield as their quarterback.
All right, now we got to leave it there.
You're
but
lucky
I get
we got
your
a hard
point.
out.
But I'll tell you, this is something that we will try to pick back up on later in the show if we can. But I got to take you to this because it's UEFA 2020. It's directed by Simon Kerr for the own goal. Oh, tough play there for Kerr. Game tied at 1. 102 minutes in, still tied at 1. England's Raheem Sterling races in the box, brought down by Joachim Melee. Now watch it again. 1. Denmark fans can't believe it. England pumped up. They're going to play Italy in the final on Sunday. And right now, our friends at Caesars Sportsbook by William Hill see England as the slight favorite over Italy, sitting at minus 125 compared to plus 100 for the Italians. ESPN's analytics agree, giving England a 63% chance to win its first ever Euro championship. Well, coming up, Giannis didn't exactly look like his old self in Game 1, but what more can we expect from the Greek Freak tonight? And can the Bucks win if he's not at his best? Plus, why did it